Yeah, so people had this idea of you, and then when did it feel right again to start making music? Because like you say, then we don't have to get into...
Well, there's a definite couple of, very important things happen. One that Mike left, and I think, it's not... I mean, I don't think, he wanted to go and live in Holland anyway, but I think the pressure, well, he's already talked about it, of being the main songwriter at that time, well, certainly one of them. And this constant pressure for us to keep creating hits, which was what a pop band has to do. If we were a rock band, we could have gone off and done some concept work,
Sure. Yeah, but I think the same thing applies even to rock bands and stuff. After a while, if you've got a certain thing, you've explored that, and at a certain point, it begins to sort of get repetitive, or it's difficult not to.
But that culminated in Mike leaving and us sort of staggering on. It wasn't a complete waste of time, but probably... Well, the other rock thing, I think, though, is if somebody says, to you two, oh, you're drained of ideas, have a couple of years off. Nobody ever said that to us, you know what I mean? They said, if you don't stop, if you stop, you'll never work again, is what everybody kept saying. Even when you left, it was like... remember when Slade went to America and they came back, they'd lost their entire audience, all this stuff.
Well, I guess it's true, isn't it? There is an element of truth in it, but we worked really hard in those years that we were going. So, I mean, I suppose we didn't know it was going to come back again.
No.
And when it was also going downhill in that period, and then we sort of, I left, and then, they started arguing, the drummer and the bass decided to leave. Or they all broke up, and then they carried on a little bit further. So it sort of petered out, yeah.
But I remember it culminated in, we were playing gigs, and we weren't playing One Step Beyond, we weren't playing Baggy Trousers, we weren't playing any of the jolly songs. It was getting darker and darker. Because in our minds, it was this that we've got to kind of shed this, if we're going to move on, we've got to shed this happiness, And that was all what I say where it was warped, because you can have both. You can have serious and happy. That was the whole point of the band, in the beginning. And then it started to be that we can't be happy. We've got to really shake off this novelty kind of thing. And it just became a bit too, that became one-dimensional then, because we were trying to be too serious, you know what I mean?
Right, so once kind of the...
So there was a long period after that, like you were saying, where we did nothing. We did nothing for like 10 years. And so... I guess we were able to recharge things, rethink things, and then when we started coming back, also, I don't know, the music scene sort of changed, but then it seemed a lot more open, a lot more freedom, that we could more do what the hell we wanted, and, we're a bit older and we didn't care so much, and we still seem to be sort of doing all right, reasonably successful, that we could continue doing what we were doing. And then we just sort of did what we like to do then, and we discovered that you can do what you like to do, I think.
What I find interesting then is because, you mentioned earlier kind of the part of creativity and leaving something behind, kind of. So has that become more important in recent years, kind of thinking about the legacy, so to say?
No, I don't think, I don't know what Mike meant exactly, but my interpretation is we wanted to leave a mark because we were fucking no marks. You know what I mean? It was like, there's Suggs, you can see it on the wall, everybody knows who he is, you know what I mean? Or I do, at least I've got some reminder of who I am. And, but no, I think now, it's funny again, we were talking about the internet with your son years and years ago, he was doing some project. And we were saying, how does it affect older bands, now that you can't really sell... hopefully we sell a lot of this compilation album, I'm sure,
What is it?
It's a huge renaissance of buying records going to appear on the horizon.
Bloody hell, it folds right out.
What? Are you joking? Do you know, I do believe there's a pop-up section in the vinyl version.
I can't wait for the pop-up section. Look at that, get a butcher in it. There's a great picture on the back, look at this, just back in the whole heyday, look. Gymnastic, we almost became a gymnastic outfit.
That was when the novelty bubble burst, that was it. We could hear circus music everywhere we went. Here they come, here they come. But the irony now is a kind of freedom, like the thing we're saying, to do what you like, when you like. And not to have to go, we were working pretty much till something like the 60s, when we started, singles. For your younger listeners, they were 45 bits of vinyl, you had to put out 3 a year, with a B-side and an album every year. And that sort of gone, then it took the pressure off a little bit to just think, what do we want to do and when do we want to do it?
Well, because with this compilation album, I think 42 songs over spanning the entire career, doing an album like this, is that a nostalgic process? Do you go back to kind of thinking, that's why I mentioned Left Behind, do you start thinking about kind of what you've accomplished over the years and then
No, but it's nice. I got a copy of that the other day, and I thought, and my wife was away, so I put it on. Because in my house, listening to my own music is worse than watching porn. If I get caught, Dad's downstairs listening to his music again. So I got a nice evening. Nice evening.
High point.
Once, 3 times a year, I might possibly play one of our records.
Yeah.
You know, and it was nice hearing it. Yeah. And of course, we did some good things. Yeah, it's great to hear that we did some good things. You know. Because it's funny, music, I don't know, like they say with painting, you paint like this and then you stand back and you look at it. You know, music is time, isn't it? It's time when you stand back. Right. And when you're in the middle of making it, it gets a bit intense, and then maybe 6 months or a year later you hear it and you have a more objective opinion about how good it is.
Right.
And yeah, we did a lot of really good things. And it's also nice, of course, to hear the development, you know, of us all, you know, as we go on, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of, it's spanning our whole career as it is, yeah. I mean, it's great for us, yeah, you got all memories. I mean, I think a lot of people who are involved, depending how involved they are with following it and what you're doing, you know, everybody creates memories as they go along, so it's part of your life, you know. So, you know, it is a part of our life, you know, it's a big part of our life on here, really. You know, every one of these bloody songs, we've been weeks, months in the studio, rehearsing, you know, recording, overdubbing, arguing about all this. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the arguing is not so nice when you think back on that.
Well, it's, you know, part of the process.
Part of the healthy process of getting there.
Passion.
But yeah, it's a big part of your life, yeah. And a lot of people share in that, so that's the wonderful thing when you do gigs. I mean, the other thing I wanted to clarify, I don't know if you got that, you know, they're all a bit sort of show-offs in the band to an extent, and that's why we make a good band, I think, because everybody, you know, rises to the occasion and puts something into it, and like live and stuff, you know, it's people seem to enjoy it. I mean, we enjoy it, and I think it's pretty entertaining show as well as good music. You know, there's a lot of funny stuff going on, you know, spontaneous sort of behaviours and stuff, and it's interesting to see a band like that. I mean, it's better than you see some bands, and I mean, the music, you've got the music, but apart from that, what have you got, you know?
Nothing going on.
I mean, I don't want to say Paul Weller, but, you know, it's really serious on the guitar, the whole fucking, you know, every song really serious, it's like, you know, it's okay, but you know, this nice when you have, and then you get the other end is like Kylie, not Kylie. You get these other sort of people, and it's all plastic, you know. Right. The whole thing is like fabricated, and the music is almost like coincidental. But with us, we're doing it's like a circus. You know, we're doing the whole thing. We're making the music, we're putting on the show, you know.
Yeah, we roll up to town. All the things we said we'd never do. No. It's getting the mixture though, of the seriousness and the fun, you know, and then being on stage, you know, should be fun, you know. Right. What's the point otherwise? You know what I mean?
Final question then, because I think my time's up.
Yeah,
but
well, we got to 1979, and we have to do the next part. Yeah.
We'll do that next one. But obviously, last year you released an album with new material. Are you planning to do so in the future?
Yeah, we're working bands. Yeah, we keep at it. Yeah, so. You know, we keep at it, yeah, and we're enjoying it. I mean, that was a very enjoyable album, the last album. I mean, you know, what is successful? I don't know. I mean, for us, successful is. I mean, for me now, you know, also there was a lot of sort of, I think, re-evaluating when the band sort of fell apart. You know, because at that time for myself, it was all about sales. You know, success equaled sales. But obviously that's a very sort of narrow way of looking at things, of life, you know. I mean, art is not necessarily, I mean, it is about sales, but it's not really, you know. So it's sort of discovering what really it works, I think, and we have a good vibe.
Yeah, you know, so you don't go mad, you know what I mean? You can have a load of money and still be very unhappy.
So you need a nice balance.
And it can be
you know,
empty and not much merit or content. So we enjoy it, and we work on the albums, and you know, we make them as good as we can. We like making music, and You'll hear that if you buy
The Full House by Mandy.
It's got the old, the new, and it's going right up to another version of Me, which was off the last album.
Yeah.
Can't Touch Us Now. It's all there. Double
Got a couple
CD.
of Paul Weller covers and the Kylie Minogue. I should be so lucky with the Scar stuff. But no, 2019, I think, will be 40 years since we made our first record. So we're planning maybe some big things in 2019. Maybe a new record and maybe some big things.
Gentlemen, thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not all about the sales, but buy it.
All right, thanks.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.